Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. Welcome again to another video. In this video, we are going to talk about future perfect tense. So we will get ahead with the definition, structure, and uses of future perfect tense. So first of all, let's get ahead with the future perfect tense. That what is future perfect tense? The definition of future perfect tense is a future perfect tense is used to show that action which will be finished or which will not be finished in the future before another action in the future. Future perfect tense will show that action which will be finished or which will not be finished in the future before another action in the future. For example, I will have finished my homework before you arrive. Take it an example. I will have finished my homework before you arrive. Now this action is already finished, okay? Before another action in the future. I will have finished my homework. Okay, now it's an action. It's already finished. Before another action in the future. Before you arrive. Now it's another action in the future. Now let's get ahead with the rules of future perfect tense. So the first rule for a future perfect tense is in future perfect tense, the first action which will happen must be in a future perfect tense. So the first action which will happen in future perfect tense, it must have to be in the future perfect tense. So and the second action which will occur in future perfect tense, it will be in a simple present tense. For example, they will have finished the work. Now it's the first action, okay? So as we said that the first action has to be in the future perfect tense. So they will have finished the work, and the second action it will be in simple present tense. So before you come there. So now the second action is in a simple present tense, and the first action will be in future perfect tense. Now finally, we are going to talk about the structure of future perfect tense, how we will make positive sentences, negative and interrogative using future perfect tense. So first of all, let's get ahead with the positive structure of future perfect tense. Okay, how we will make sentences while using future perfect tense. So first of all, if you want to make positive sentences, so for that we will use this structure. For example, first of all, we will put subject, then with the subject will plus have plus word third, mean third form of verb, you can call it past participle, plus rest of the sentence. For example, Talha will have bought mobile before you pass class 10th. Now first of all, I put here subject, Talha is subject, then will, and then have, then third form of verb, okay, and then rest of the sentence. So as we said, that in future perfect tense, the first action can occur in the future perfect tense, and this second action it will be in simple present tense. So have a look at this. Talha will have bought mobile. Now it's the first action and it is in future perfect tense. But the second action, before you pass class 10, now it is in simple present tense. Okay, if you want to make negative sentences, so for that we will use the structure. First of all, we'll put a subject, then will, and then with will we will add not, and then have, and then third form of the verb, and then rest of the sentence. For example, first of all, I'll put subject. Now Musa is a subject, then I put here will, and with that I put here not. So Musa will not. With that we will add have, and then third form of the verb, and then rest of the sentence. For example, Musa will not have bought mobile before you pass class 10th. Okay, now it is negative sentences. If we want to make interrogative sentences, so for that we will use this structure. First of all, we will put will, then after that we will put subject, then have plus third form of the verb, and then rest of the sentence. For example, will she bought mobile before you pass class 10th? Now I am making question. If you want to make question, so for that we will use this structure. It was all about future perfect tense. Thank you so much. Okay, as we talk about future perfect tense, so now we will talk about future continuous tense. That what is future continuous tense? In addition to that, we will talk about the definition, structure and the rules of future perfect continuous tense. So first of all, let's get ahead with the future perfect continuous tense. That what is future perfect continuous tense? Look at the example. It is used to show that action uh, which will be in progress over a period of time that will end in the future. In other words, in simple words, we can say like this: action that will have started, okay, will have continued for some time and will still be in progress in the future either. Look at the example, it's very clear. They will have been flying to London for 4 hours by this time tomorrow, okay. Now we will talk about the rules of future perfect continuous tense. Okay, so now we are going to talk about rules of future perfect continuous tense. What are the rules for future perfect continuous tense? The first rule is if a subject is singular, okay, if a subject is he, she, it, so we must have to put his. If a subject is singular, he, she, it, so with that we will use his. Number second, if subject is plural, for example, if subject is I, you, we, they, so with that we will use have. Okay, if a subject is singular, we will use has. If a subject is plural, I, you, we, they, so for that we will use a have. Now we are going to talk about the structure of future perfect continuous tense, how we will make sentences positive, negative, and interrogative. So first of all, we will talk about the positive structure of future perfect continuous tense. But in positive structure, we have two structures, okay? One is for singular and one is for plural. For example, if the subject is he, she, it, so for that we will use this structure. As we said in the rules, if the subject is singular, with that we will use has. But if the subject is plural, then we will use have. For example, if the subject is singular, for that we will use subject plus will plus has plus been and then verb ing. For example, he, now he is a singular subject, so he will his, okay, he will has been living in Turkey for 4 years. Now if the subject is plural and we want to make positive sentences, so for that we will use this structure. First of all, we will put here subject, then will plus have plus been and then verb ing. For example, I put here they. They is plural subject, okay? So they will have. Why I am using here have? Because the subject is plural. So that's why. So they will have been playing hockey in London for 4 weeks. Now we are going to talk about the negative structure of future perfect continuous tense, that how we will make negative sentences while using future perfect continuous tense. So let's get ahead with the negative structure of future perfect continuous tense. For that we will use this structure. First of all, we'll put subject. With that we will use will plus not plus has or have. We will use has and have according to the subject. If the subject is singular, for example, he, she, or it. With that we will use has and have. We will use if the subject is plural. For example, we, you, they, I, uh, I. So if the subject is singular, he, she, it, with that we will use has. And if the subject is plural, you, we, they, I, with that we will use have. And then plus with that we'll use been and plus verb ing and then rest of the sentence. For example, if the subject is singular, now here she. She is a singular subject. So first of all, we'll put subject. With that will, not, and then has, because the subject is singular. So that's why we will put has. She will not has, then been, and then verb ing. So she will not has been living in Pakistan for 2 years. Okay. Now, if the subject is plural, for example, if the subject is you, we, they, and I, with that we will use have. For example, they, now they is a plural subject, so they will not have. Why we put here have? Because the subject is plural. They will not have been, and then verb ing. So they will not have been living in Lahore for 3 years. Okay. Now we will talk about the interrogative structure of future perfect continuous tense, that how we will make question while using future perfect continuous tense. So let's get ahead with the interrogative structure of future perfect continuous tense. The interrogative structure of future perfect continuous tense. Okay. First of all, we'll put will with that subject and then has or have. It will be according to the subject. If the subject is singular, we'll put his. If the subject is plural, then we'll put have and then been, then plus verb ing and then rest of the sentence. And at the end, question mark. It is important. It is compulsory. For example, will he? Now the subject is singular. So with the subject, we will put has because the subject is singular. So while he has been living in Pakistan for 10 years. Now, will and then he is a subject. Then I put here has because the subject is singular. Then been and then verb ing and then rest of the sentence. And at the end, I put here question mark. If the subject is plural, then we will put a have. For example, will we? Now we is a plural subject, okay? So will we have been living in China for 10 years? It was all about future perfect continuous tense. Thank you so much.